You're scrolling through your feed, and you probably have that one friend. They're always active, right? They're liking your posts, they're watching your stories, but they never, ever post anything themselves. No updates, no photos, nothing. It's like they're a ghost in the machine. So let's get into it. We're going to explore the really fascinating psychology behind this silent user.
It's the big question, isn't it? In a world that pretty much screams for constant attention and self-promotion, why do some people just choose to hang back, to just watch from the sidelines? I'm sure you've got your own ideas, but the real answer is, honestly, way more surprising than you probably think.
Okay, so check this out. This is where it gets really interesting, because this slide just flips everything we assume on its head. We tend to label these quiet people as shy, or maybe a little antisocial, maybe even, uninteresting. But the psychological reality? It's often the complete opposite. We're talking secure, deeply self-aware, and incredibly emotionally intelligent.
So yeah, let's unpack this mystery of the online ghost. I mean, in a culture where we overshare everything, their silence really is a statement. But what is it actually saying? Here's the most important thing to get. This isn't just some random quirk. Psychologists have actually found that this choice to stay silent reveals a ton about a person's inner world. Their confidence, their entire mindset, and really how they handle the pressures of modern life. So first up, let's talk about inner security. And this isn't about hiding from the world. No, it's about having a world inside yourself that's already so stable and whole that you don't need anything from the outside to complete it. It really boils down to three key things. First, they value their privacy a lot. They're protective of their mental space. Second, they have a really strong sense of self-awareness. They know who they are, and they don't need social media trends to tell them. And third, and this is a big one, they have a secure self-esteem. That means their confidence isn't built on a foundation of likes and comments. This leads us to a really cool psychological term, self-concept clarity. All this means is that you have such a clear, stable idea of who you are that you're not easily shaken by what other people think or what's currently popular. Your self-worth, your happiness, it all comes from the inside. So what does a secure self-esteem actually look like in day-to-day life? Well, these are people who rely on their own validation, not likes. They tend to be less anxious, they're not constantly seeking approval, and they're way more focused on their real-world goals. They feel complete, and they don't feel the need to announce it to everybody. Okay, next up, it's about seeing past what I like to call the digital illusion. So it's not just about having a strong inner world, it's also about truly understanding the, performance that's happening in the digital one. This really comes down to two mindsets. One, they're often deep, introspective thinkers. They'd rather have a meaningful, real conversation than a bunch of superficial online chats. And two, and this is critical, they see the digital illusion for exactly what it is, a carefully curated and often totally distorted version of what's real. This is all backed up by another cognitive trait, having an internal locus of evaluation. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. It just means you judge yourself by your own internal rulebook, your own values, not by what society or, your followers think. It's a super powerful way to stay grounded. And because they have that internal compass, they can easily recognize that so much of what we see online isn't actually life. It's a performance of life. It's a show carefully edited for an audience. And they've simply decided they'd rather not be one of the main actors. And this quote just gets right to the heart of the problem they're avoiding. Social media basically pushes us to measure our messy, everyday, behind-the-scenes lives against everybody else's perfectly polished highlight reels. I mean, that's a game that's pretty much impossible to win, right? And there's a name for this. The psychological principle behind it is called social comparison theory. We are literally wired to compare ourselves to other people to figure out where we fit in. But social media takes that natural instinct and just puts it on steroids, trapping us in this endless, draining cycle. Silent users? They just consciously choose to opt out. So, after all that, what is the ultimate takeaway? Well, it's a complete reframing of what online silence means. It's really about the confidence of being unseen. Let's circle all the way back to that first slide. We can see now that those common assumptions just don't really hold water. It is not about being shy, and it is definitely not about being antisocial. Instead, this behavior often signals something way deeper. It suggests a person who is more grounded in reality, more emotionally intelligent in how they interact with others, and way more self-aware about what truly makes them happy and fulfilled. And this
This is the core idea. This is the most powerful point of all. Their sense of value, of being recognized and appreciated, it just doesn't come from online visibility. They are seen and valued by the people who actually matter in their real lives. They don't need to be seen by everyone to feel seen by someone. And that is real confidence. And that leaves us with a final question for you to chew on. In a world that is more and more built on being visible, on constantly performing for an audience, what does genuine, unshakable confidence really look like to you?